Hi everyone, Coldam here with another VOX Immortalis commentary guide. This video is for the Iron Dwarf medium rare achievement and also the Razorscale encounter as a whole, since they're simple to combine. The recording on this video started slightly late, but you should be able to get the idea here pretty easily. Once you start the encounter, Razorscale herself is flying above you and dropping fireballs on the raid. You won't actually engage her. Instead, dwarves will spawn from underground diggers that pop up at the far side of the arena. There's usually two of them, one kind of on the left, one to the right, and a guardian, which is a melee type mob, and a watcher, which is a caster shaman mob, will spawn for both. It's also possible, but not as common, for a third digger to spawn in any given wave with a much larger and more dangerous mob. If that happens, it's important that your tanks pick him up. He's a sentinel is the name, and he has a dangerous whirlwind attack, so you should watch for that. After two sets of waves, the two turrets at the front of the arena will become active, and a player from your raid should click on them, and that will activate the chains on Razorscale. When both are pulled down on her, she'll drop to the earth, and you can DPS her. Meanwhile, if you're trying to get the Iron Dwarf medium rare achievement, use a couple of the dwarves from the previous spawns, get them low health as you see here, and stand in front of her. And just as she did there, she'll breathe her big breath attack. If the dwarves are low enough in which they'll die from that attack, then you'll get kill credit for the Iron Dwarf achievement. There's a few minor abilities to watch for in this first phase. By the way, there's a sentinel, as I mentioned, so make sure tanks get threat on that high, and melees watch for the whirlwind. Anyway, while Razorscale is in the air in phase 1, she has two main fireball attacks. The first one is a red and blue attack, and it's completely unavoidable. It just does some fire damage to the targeted player. The more dangerous one is a blue fireball that will not occur as often, but it's called Devouring Flame. And when it lands, it deals damage and leaves a small fire that stays on in the impact area for about 30 seconds or so. And it deals heavy fire damage to anyone standing in it. So if your camera is zoomed out, you can get a good idea of where the blue fireballs are coming down and avoid them. Other than that, it's just a matter of dealing with the adds. We tend to focus on the caster adds first, since they're simple to kill. Also, tips for tanks. We use a Feral Druid as our off-tank in this fight, because it allows him to DPS fairly well. Once the Razorscale comes down, I can taunt the adds that he had on him. And from there, I just kind of try to get them somewhat low so that we can kill them with her breath and get a bit more credit. It's important to note that the Iron Dwarf medium rare achievement requires 25 kills from her breath, but obviously they don't all have to be in the same instance, same lockout. You can do them across multiple raids, so getting a couple every raid is really the way to go. So once she reaches 50%, phase 2 begins. She will break free of the chains and stay on the ground permanently. At this point, she's tanked like any normal boss mob. When phase 2 begins, make sure the tank picks up Razorscale quickly, as her threat is 0 at the start. And then begin backpedaling her as the tank around the outside of the arena. Make sure she's not facing anyone else in the raid, as her breath will hit people. It's important to have two tanks, because she uses fuse armor, which lowers movement speed and armor on the tank. And because she uses her Devouring Blue Flame ability still, once the tank reaches a slow enough snare or movement speed, he'll no longer be able to get out of the flame and will likely die. So tank swapping via taunts is required. Other than that, it's a pretty simple phase, and thanks again for watching.